Alrighty guys, this is the look. Hello, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Christy, and if you're a returner, well, thank you for coming back. Welcome. Today, I am actually getting ready to head out. I'm going to a Spanish-English language learning exchange tonight. They're doing like a little social hour in DC. And before I go, I'm just gonna get ready and do my makeup. So I decided that why not do my makeup on camera and kind of have like a chit chat session with you guys. I will show you guys some of the products that I do use, but most of it, it's not going to be a full-blown tutorial. So if there are things that you see within the video that you're having questions about, feel free to put it in the comments down below. Before we get started, I do want to also remind you guys to like, comment, and subscribe. I am doing Vlogmas, so this is, I believe, Vlogmas Day 6. Finishing up the first week, it's been a little bit interesting. I'm just glad that I've been consistent this far because I feel like I've been wanting to do this for a long time and I haven't been able to, so we'll see. I'm gonna hopefully try to do the whole 25 days. So to start off, I use this Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Face Base. This is basically just a moisturizer and a primer combo, and I'll just take a little bit in my fingers like this and kind of just warm it up in my fingers and kind of just dab it all over my face. I did do my skincare before, and before I wear makeup, I don't do too much skincare. I will use like a face wash, and then I'll just go in with a hyaluronic acid. This is actually the La Roche-Posay one, just for some extra moisture. And then I'll top it with this primer moisturizer and then a sunscreen. But since it's nighttime, I'm not going to put a sunscreen on today. So I do kind of have a topic I wanted to talk to you guys about today. Basically, I've just been doing some reflections, you know, it's that time of year. And it hit me when I was doing my reflections that I am coming up on 1 year in DC. I moved to Washington, DC, December 30th of last year. From LA, I was living in LA for 3 years. I moved there in low-key, I would say, not the heat of COVID, but kind of still like COVID time, because the day I landed in LA, they initiated like actually, we thought you could be outside, but go ahead and go in kind of restriction. So I left right after Thanksgiving of 2020. I did Thanksgiving with my family, hopped on a flight the day after Thanksgiving, and moved to LA. And I remember after Thanksgiving, I double checked and everything was like good, right? They were like, oh yeah, we're not in quarantine right now. We're outside, basically. Not maybe outside, at least I never was, but they said you could do things. And then once I landed, they said, actually, go ahead and go in. I was going there for grad school. I went to grad school at USC for film, for my master's in film and TV production. And I had never been to LA before, but at that point, like, it was kind of just like well, you don't really have a choice. Like, you're going to school or are you not? I applied to like 3 schools. I applied to AFI, I applied to NYU, and I applied to USC. USC was the only school that I got into. So there was not really much going on. The craziest thing about it is that it didn't even hit me until like basically afterwards that like, oh, I was not gonna hear back from NYU. Like AFI had messaged me or sent me an email. It was like, hey, thank you so much for your application, but we're just gonna go in a different direction or whatever, you know what they be saying. NYU, I just never heard anything from at all. And then USC, I got in, but I don't know what happened the year I got in, because they said, I talked to some people and they said that that was not normal. Basically, I got in, but I was on the wait list, but I was guaranteed admission for the following semester. I've heard that like usually it's like if you're on the wait list, like you're just on the wait list, you better hope you get off kind of vibe, right? But for us, they were like, yeah, you'll get in just next semester. So I don't remember what exactly the story was. Like, I don't know if they accepted too many people or what was going on, but they said it's either going to be fall of that year, which would be, it would have been that September of 2020 or August of 2020, or I would just start in January of 2021. So when August of 2020 passed and I didn't get in, or I wasn't moved from the wait list, I just ended up enrolling January 2021. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna move to LA a few months earlier just to kind of get settled in and stuff. Little did I know that there was not really gonna be much settling in because everyone was at home, and not only that, but our first semester was actually online. A lot of us were like really bummed that like our first semester of film school was going to be online. I actually quite enjoyed that semester. I like to do classes from home. I like to be in the house. I had a lot of stuff going on too because I was also working. So it was very convenient for me. And I think also like it did force me to kind of think outside of the box and say, can I make this film remotely, virtually? Like, is this possible? And in all the cases it was, right? It wasn't the most ideal situation, but it was definitely possible. So I think for one semester, knowing that, hey, it's possible was good. Anything more than that though, is starting to get a little bit into danger territory because it's like, we want to be in person kind of vibe. So that was kind of my story. And I went through the program. The program was 3 years. I fortunately finished in 2. I was doing summer classes and taking overloads during the actual semesters. I was just like, yeah, this is cute or whatever, but I just quickly saw that this program was I wasn't gonna graduate the film program with $1 million check. But what the degree did give me, and which I was also hoping it gave me, was the ability to learn, right? The ability to try, fail, the ability to do it and know how to do it. Because I'm the only person in my family that's like in the arts. I'm the only, in my immediate family that is. I truly don't know, or didn't know. I know a bit more now, but even now, like, I'm like, I don't know how all of this works. Like the industry, the business of the industry, just even like the hardcore, like technical filmmaking, like I did not know. I had an idea of how to use a camera because I studied broadcast journalism in undergrad, and that was intentional. I went to University of Maryland, and University of Maryland does have a film program, but it was more like film studies, right? It wasn't like film production and actual like filmmaking, like, or hands-on filmmaking, I should say. So I was like, okay, bet, like we're gonna do theater, we're gonna learn how to like direct and maybe even perform, do sound or do whatever I wanted to do, and then we're gonna also do broadcast journalism because that will allow me to use a camera, right? And learn how to use a camera, learn what like, just even the basics of a camera, like I did not know prior to undergrad, where it was like, what is ISO, aperture, how to edit, like shutter speed, like I did not know any of that, and journalism, being on the video side of broadcast journalism, really allowed me to learn. So mission accomplished for undergrad. And then when I got into grad school, honestly, that first semester online was the semester that really, like I mentioned, like me being disillusioned by the program started to creep in immediately because I clocked it, right? And it wasn't, I wouldn't even go ahead and say like I was super disappointed. It was just more like this is the reality. You are now being able to identify that maybe earlier than most. Let's work with what we got. Let's work with what they have, create a game plan, and make this the most useful program for me. And that was basically what I did. Because when I looked at the program, I said, there's no reason why I need to be here for 3 years. We're gonna get on into. And I remember the counselor like basically saying like, oh, this has never been done before, it can't be done, whatever. I call these people, the people who have done it, it's usually like a semester early, and I call them my little unicorns, was what she told me. I said, okay, mama. okay, mama. You haven't met me. At that point, it became competition, I can't lie, because I don't like people, what I don't like is people just shooting my idea down. And I had the same experience in undergrad too, where like one of the counselors within the journalism program, he basically told me that like I could not double up and do a dual degree in theater and journalism because they were both very high credit degrees and it's never been done. And I was like, what do you mean it's never been done? This person is doing it right now. And he said, oh, yeah. Well, it can't be done in 4 years. I said, okay. I said, okay, Papa, okay, we'll see. And that kind of behavior just really blows me because it's like, in both scenarios, for undergrad and grad, I've had the counselors just kind of like the advisors, like they just blow you off, or they blew me off. Like they didn't even want to listen to what I had to say or listen to my idea. And don't say it's not possible, right? Because clearly it is. I mean, I just did it. I did it twice. But it's like, you could say it can be difficult, but don't say it's impossible. Because I'm looking at the curriculum and I'm like, baby, I'm looking at the curriculum and I'm like, it's possible. It's going to take hard work. It's going to take sacrifice, but I'm looking at it and it's possible. I like school, but I don't like to stay in school. Like, I think school is important. I think everyone should have a degree. I really do think that. Because I think higher education, that's one thing they cannot take from you. Okay? And I think, y'all gonna get me ranting, but I do think that there's an agenda that's being pushed, especially to certain classes and certain communities, that, oh, you don't need a degree or you don't need to go to college. And I'm just like, baby, college teaches you so much. You need to go. You need to go. Respectfully. But hey, everyone has their own path, right? So I say all that to say, like, I like school. I like the social aspect of school. I like learning, but I don't like the 16 weeks we're cramming everything in. We're hustling and bustling in classes, and I don't like the stress that comes with it. So my mom has always told me, like, if you don't need to be in some place for too long, you don't need to be in school forever. Like, do what you gotta do and get out. So that's how I was raised. That's like the philosophy my mom has always told me, and I take that. I'm gonna do what I have to do and get out. So that's what I did. I did what I had to do and I got out. So yeah, I did what I did and got out. And then after I finished, I stayed in LA for an extra year because my problems with LA was, like, I kind of felt like I did not have community there. I think the nature of LA, at least what I was learning, that is a city that people come and go from. Everyone is moving to LA every day. Everyone is moving out of LA every day. And I heard that prior to going there, but, like, it's actually true. Because, like, my second year, when I was wrapping up school, that was, like, the year, at the end of the year, everyone I knew, all the friends I've kind of made, all the community I was starting to, like, build and foster, they were all like, hey, we're leaving the city. Like, we're moving home, or we're moving elsewhere. And I was just like, where are y'all going? Why are y'all doing this to me now? We just got here. We're just starting to build this friendship. Why? And I get it. Like, it is, at least for me, I think it's a city that's not, it's definitely not forever. Like, I feel like LA is for a good time. It's not for a long time. Like, it's a city that I like in chunks. Like, the best thing about LA is leaving, but the best thing about LA is also coming back. So yeah, my second year in LA, at the end of it, everyone was like, yeah, we're going home, or we're moving from the city. And I get it, because, like, they were living there for longer than I was, and they were just done with it. It was just, that season had passed. So my third year, I was just like, I'm just gonna give it one more year. I'm gonna give it one more year and see, because now I'm not in school. Now I'm not balancing work and school. It's just work, and I feel like I can give so much more time to other things. So let me just give LA another year and see what the vibes are, right? And I honestly thought that, like, I would stay in LA forever, because, again, like, or at least for a long time, maybe not forever, but, like, a very long time, because, like I said, the industry is there. I was just coming out of school, and mamas need a job, right? Like, it makes more sense to be in LA. But then, or at least at the time it did, but then I was just kind of like, my third year there, when I was out of school, I just started to become, like, really, like, not happy in the city. Like, I was just kind of like, I'm over this. So yeah, I kind of just was like, all my friends are pretty much leaving. I just finished school. I graduated in December, but I was walking in May, because USC doesn't do a winter grad or winter ceremony commencement. So I was like, okay, I wanted to give it another year. Like, I thought, like, I would live in LA for a long time, but I was like, let me give it another year, and this year actually try, right? Like, try my best. And that was the year of 2023. I was like, I'm gonna try my best to actually, like this city, because I was not really enjoying the city. Because, like, again, the nature of LA is kind of more like, people come and go. No one wants to drive anywhere. I don't mind driving as long as it's an hour or less. My max is like an hour, right? 45 minutes to an hour is my max. I don't mind driving, but people don't want to drive. Like, I met people that were kind of like, oh yeah, I don't drive more than like 5 or 15 minutes. I'm like, 15 minutes? 15 minutes in LA is like down the street. There's so much traffic, there's so much congestion that's like, what do you mean you don't drive more than 15 minutes? And this is kind of the problem, because it's just like, if we're all doing that, then we're not gonna ever meet up, because the city's huge and we all live in different parts, you know what I'm saying? So it kind of just, like, requires an effort from, like, everyone, right, to put in time to meet people, but not everyone has that mindset, right? Like, so it's not that I didn't know people in LA, it's just that it was just hard to maintain those friendships, because no one ever wants to drive. Everyone's always busy, and rightfully so. Like, I get that, myself included. Everyone's always busy. People come and go. And then also, we're older. Like, we're just older and we're adults and we got stuff going on. You know what I mean? So that was kind of just the nature of the city, but that's not really the city to have those problems in, if that makes sense. Because I feel like LA can get really, really lonely really quickly. And with just everything going on, like the mentality of trying to survive and make it another day because it's just like so expensive, it's just like you really do need to be plugged into community. Like, especially, like, I think we should be plugged into community everywhere, but I feel like in LA, it's like that's the place you really need to be plugged into community, right? I was just kind of like over the city, like really quickly. Like, I started off 2023 thinking like, oh, I'm going to be here for a while. And then towards when I came home for my graduation party after my commencement, so I came back home, and I'm from Baltimore. So I came back to Baltimore in July. I did my party, and I really was like, just sad. Like, I remember crying, like, on the way from the airport, driving from the airport to my house. Like, I remember crying, like, oh my goodness, like, I remember this park. I remember, like, I was passing through Canton. For people who are from Baltimore and you know where this is, I was passing through Canton, and it brought me to tears. I was just like, I cannot do this. I was just like, what about Canton is bringing me to tears right now? Like, Canton is beautiful, like, it's great, but it's just like, it's so close to my house that I see it all the time, and it was just like, I think I just missed home. Like, I missed home. My party made me realize that I missed my friends. I missed hanging out with them, and these are people that, you know, like my friends that I went to undergrad with, and I kind of just had more of an intimacy with, and I feel like that's what I was lacking in LA, right? So I just kind of missed home, and I was just kind of like, yeah, I don't really have anything keeping me in LA. I'm not really working in film right now. At the time I wasn't, and even still now. I'm working in podcasting, which is more aligned with my journalism degree. To me, if I'm gonna make a film, it's most likely gonna be the independent route anyway, and I can make a film anywhere. Like, I can live anywhere and make a film anywhere. I can live anywhere and come back to LA to film and shoot the film. So, and then my job was remote. I was supposed to renew my lease for another year, and then my lease, they were just like, actually, it's month to month. So I was like, bet, like, I don't have anything holding me here. I remember asking one of my friends, and I was like, is it crazy to move back for community? Because I was also battling the fact that, like, DC is a great place, or like the DMV is a great place, Baltimore is a great place, but it's just like, there are filmmakers here and there are creatives here, but it's not like we're all, like, it's a smaller hub, right? It's a smaller hub, and it's just like, it is not, I would say, the most ideal place for my degree, like, or for my field. I don't really know what I would be doing in DC. Like, is that a smart decision? And I remember asking my friend, like, is it crazy to move back for community? And she was like, that's why I never left. And I said, she said all her friends are here, and that's why she never left, because she doesn't want to go through that. So I basically decided that it was time for me to leave LA. Like, I felt it in my soul that this place no longer served me, and I wanted to leave. I wanted to be back home, and everything was working out. Like, the stars were aligning, and I moved back, and I've been in DC now for a year. I've been enjoying it. Like, DC's kind of cool. Like, it's not unfamiliar territory. Like, I went to University of Maryland, which is like 20 minutes from the city. I'm from Baltimore, which is only 45 minutes an hour from the city. So it's like, I've been around here before, but it's different because it's like, now I'm actually living in DC proper, if that makes sense. And there is still like a sense of exploration and a sense of like meeting new people, especially now too, like, now that I'm here, I do like this community group called Yapping, and we do social events every month, and I host them for people who are transplants or people who are just in the city. You don't have to be a transplant, but if you're in the city and you're in your 20s or your 30s, I host these events for people who are looking to build community. And so there is also, like, even though I am the host and I am putting on this event, like, I am also too, like, scouting and making and building friendships from there as well. So it's been fun. Like, it's been great. Like, and I feel whatever I was missing in LA with like the community thing, I feel like I have that here now. I think I am just generally, the older I'm becoming a little bit more tied off and close to myself, which I'm trying to work on that a little bit. But I feel great. Like, this was a great decision. I would do it again. I also just feel like I'm much more happier here, if that makes sense. I'm much more happier here in DC. I had so many complaints for LA. It was like, the list of complaints for LA is long, okay? But here in DC, like, I don't remember the last time I complained about the city, to be honest. And maybe it's because it's just like, I know what the territory is, and again, it's not completely unfamiliar, but it's just like, I have no complaints. to the point that I was even thinking the other day that DC is like low-key would be such a great home base. Like, I wouldn't mind buying property here. Like, I could start a family here. Like, it feels like home away from home, if that makes sense. It feels like home. It feels familiar, and I like it here. And we have all 4 seasons, and rent is still pricey, but it still feels like home. Like, so, and it is home, right? Or this area in general, like DC, Maryland, the DMV, it is home. So yeah, I gotta be careful because I may get too comfortable and not try to leave. But literally 10, I don't want to say 10 out of 10 because obviously not, but like it's a pretty good rating in my book, okay? It's a pretty good rating. And I might be, like I said, a little bit biased because I'm familiar with some of the stuff already and some of the people, but I literally I don't have any qualms with DC. Like, I could settle down here. It's a good place to do that. The only thing about it, the only qualms I will say is that it is expensive. Like rent. Other than the price, I really have no qualms. Like, no qualms. But anyways, I say all that to say, this could really be the end goal, which is why I'm kind of like, in my 1 year in, I've renewed my lease. I'm going to stay here for 2 years. But after 2 years, I gotta go. And I know you might be thinking, well, why would you have to go if you love it? Like, just stay. The thing is, I have dreams. I have a lot of dreams and a lot of things I need to do in my youth, okay? I'm a nomadic person. Like, I love being in different cities, different countries, like at different times. Like, I've always said, like, I can't see myself living in one place for too long or staying in one place for too long. And I believe that. And I still want to, like, live in New York one day without, like, kids, or like I still want to do my year abroad. Because DC is very comfortable for me, and it's like my friends are here, my family's not far, I could easily get stuck here, and I'm sensing that, and I'm like, I'm gonna get ahead of it, you know what I mean? Like, because I still got places to go, I got places to be, dreams to fulfill. But yeah, some things I'm kind of looking forward to in my 2nd year in DC. I think I mentioned it, that I have a social group that I host called Yapping, so I'm looking forward to building that. I am, like I mentioned, a theater girly, so I'm looking forward to seeing more theater and being more involved. I had the opportunity to kind of work on about 2 shows here this year. So I'm hoping to, as like the new season is starting, or has started, that more opportunities will come where I can work on shows here and kind of just build relationships here. I do also take acting classes in DC, so I'm looking forward to continuing to strengthen my instrument as a performer, and also I feel like my acting classes do inform my work as a director, so that's great. I'm excited. It is super cold out right now. I would say that's another con of DC, but hey, it is what it is. This is the look. Thank you guys for watching this video. And yeah, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Share it with your friend. If you have any questions, drop in the comments down below. And I will see you guys tomorrow for Vlogmas Day 7.